Hello and welcome to another video from me. Today's topic is going to be on something that came to me really spontaneously as I was doing a tarot reading for myself, and I felt like, I should be doing something about this, especially since I haven't really done a video on something other than monthly predictions or relationship type readings in a long time. And I guess maybe also because there's a full moon going on. I don't know, I had an inspiration. I also took a walk this evening under the full moon. And I know all of this sounds very woo-woo, but I felt really inspired to do a reading on what is your hidden power or your hidden powers. And as usual, I want to start by... Hold on, I have to put the air purifier on a lower volume. That's better. It was a little bit too loud. So as usual, I want to mention that I have chosen the crystals intuitively. I have basically asked Spirit which crystals I should choose for this particular topic. And these are the crystals that stood out to me in this particular order, out of dozens of crystals that I have in my collection, by the way. So this is for those of you who want to choose with just crystals. Pile number 1, you have this crystal, clear quartz crystal. Pile number 2, you have this blue calcite crystal. Okay. Pile number 3, you have this green aventurine crystal. All right, so these are your options. You can pause the video if you need more time to decide. Once again, my recommendation is that you take some moments to meditate upon the question with your eyes closed. Try to exhale longer than you inhale. That will help center you and calm you down. And you can also address the question to a higher power, like a deity that you respect. You can address it to God, for the Virgin Mary, I don't know, whoever you follow, or to Spirit. And yeah, choose the first pile that stands out to you intuitively. Also, if you are drawn to more than one, of course, feel free to watch several or even all of them and just take whichever messages resonate. And before I sign off, I want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. It is the easiest way to support me and it is free. And also consider clicking on the notifications bell if you want to see when I will post a new tarot reading. All right, I will see you at your pile. So hello again, this is for those of you who want to choose with a card as well as a crystal. This is going to be the selection phase for the card for each crystal. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1, the people who chose the clear quartz crystal. What is their hidden power? Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the people who chose the blue calcite. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the people who chose the green aventurine crystal. What is their hidden power? This one? This one. Okay. So, pile number 1, we have ancestors and apples. Pile number 2, we have she is 1,000 flowers. Number 44, all right. Pile number 3, we have the witch's house. Number 36. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so this is for those of you who want to choose with a card as well as a crystal. These are your options. Pile number 1, you have this card over here and or this clear quartz crystal. All right. Pile number 2, you have this card over here and or this blue calcite crystal. Pile number 3, you have this card over here and or this green aventurine crystal. All right, so these are your options. Once again, I want to mention that I have chosen the crystals intuitively like I usually do, and basically meditated upon the question, which crystals should I choose for this particular topic? These are the crystals that came out, and after that I selected a card for each crystal. And yeah, these are your options. My recommendation is also that you take some moments to meditate upon the question with your eyes closed. Take some deep breaths, exhale longer than you inhale, allow your mind to go blank a little bit. You can also meditate upon the question while addressing it to a higher power like God, Spirit, or any deity that you follow. And then open your eyes and choose the first pile that stands out to you intuitively without overthinking it. And if you feel drawn to more than one, feel free to watch several or even all of them and just take whichever messages resonate. Before I sign off, I will remind you to please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done so already, it's the easiest way to support me and it is free. And also consider clicking on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I post a new reading. Thank you, and I will see you at your pile. Welcome, pile number 1. This is your reading if you have chosen this card with ancestors and apples and or this clear crystal quartz or clear quartz crystal. So this is going to be the card selection phase. I'm going to add timestamps so you can skip directly to the interpretation. I'm going to start with the oracle cards, and there's going to be quite a few of them. Let me see. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What is their hidden power? What is pile number 1's hidden power? Tell me, Spirit. Tell me. Yeah, both of these want to come out. Okay, Spirit, what is pile number 1's hidden power? Tell me. Spirit, what is pile number 1's hidden power? Tell me. Okay. Spirit, what is pile number 1's hidden power? Spirit, tell me, what is pile number 1's hidden power? Oh my gosh, I love these cards, but they are a nightmare to shuffle. So impractical. Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 1? Okay, this one. So let's see what you got. Well, actually, wait. I'm going to put these aside, and then I'm going to take the tarot cards as well. Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What is their hidden power? What is pile number 1's hidden power? We have the 9 of Wands, we have the Temperance, the 10 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, the 6 of Pentacles. Spirits, what are pile number 1's hidden, what is it, pile number 1's hidden power? Wow. Okay. Tell me what is pile number 1's hidden power? So we have the Chariot, we have the Ace of Cups, the 5 of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, wait, Six of Pentacles here, and then we have the Knight of Cups underneath. All right, now let's see what the cards are saying here, the oracle cards. Oh, wow, we have number 24 with self-love. We have the Mountain with number 33. All right, so there's a lot of Venus here. We already have two number 6s. 24 boils down to a 6, 33 boils down to a 6. And we have Hummingbird Miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. And we have Hyena Fear. All right, number 38, which boils down to a number 11, which is ruled by the moon. And we have Friendship and Miracles. Wow, we have the Miracles coming out twice here. We have Miracles and Miracles showing up twice for you. Six of Pentacles and Knight of Cups as well. I want to clarify this. Please clarify the Six of Pentacles, Spirit. Please clarify. Okay. Whoa, we have the Nine of Swords. Interesting, because you also have fear here. Okay, I want to clarify again. Please clarify the Nine of Swords, Spirit. We have the Strength. All right, I'm getting a clear picture. So we have number 25, Ancestors and Apples. Oh, wow, this is coming out of frame. All right, so we have, this is the original oracle card that came out for you, and number 25, those of you who have watched a lot of my videos, you know this, that it boils down to the number 7 in numerology, which I associate with K2. I'm not sure if it's like actually ruled by K2 according to astrology or anything, but the description for the number 7 is very much Ketuvian energy. And K2 is about past lives. It's also a very sensitive energy, but it also has a lot of spirituality and a lot of strength. It's kind of like a more developed or a more spiritual version of Mars. It also carries that same kind of impulsivity though, and it carries a lot of bravery simply because, you know, K2 doesn't care too much about worldly things. But there's also a very spiritual dimension to it, so it's not quite like Mars. So that came through. However, in your case, there's a lot of strength coming out as well, because we have the number 9 here. First of all, here we have the number 7 right again on the Chariot, which is a card that is very much connected to, well, warfare and aggression and kind of like plowing through obstacles. And then you also have the Strength here as a clarification. And yeah, this is all painting a pretty strong picture to me. Like, you are someone who very strong, and also you have the Temperance here. Wow, like this is such a coherent message from Spirit. You are someone who is blending very strong sensitivity with a huge amount of strength. I wouldn't be surprised if you have placements in Ardra Nakshatra maybe, or Jyeshta Nakshatra as well to some extent, but I would say especially Ardra. Let me think, which other nakshatras? Well, of course, the nakshatras ruled by Ketu might also be prominent in your horoscope, which are Magha, Ashwini, or Mula Nakshatra. But I'm going to see more about the astrology as I go along. Either way, I mean, look at the symbolism here with the oracle cards alone. We have the self-love, we have the Mountain, we have Miracles coming out twice, right? And then this message that says you are the joy bringer, you bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shiny wings, spread the miracle of happiness. And then we have these two cards, both of which are boiling down to a number 6 in numerology, which is ruled by Venus, which rules love, right? Not just love, but healing. Venus is an energy of healing and love, and also gentleness and affection. And there is already a lot of symmetry between all of these oracle cards. And then we have the hyena with number 38, which is ruled by the moon, and it says fear here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it says fear, right? Under the hyena. It's not focusing, but I think you can sort of see it. So, And I think this really goes with the number 38 boiling down to 11 and the moon, because the moon is a pretty anxious energy because of its very high sensitivity, high empathic energy or empathetic energy. The moon can become very easily, let's say, shaken up emotionally and psychologically. That's also why the moon a lot of the times can be associated to mood swings, ups and downs, you know, a huge amount of emotions either way. But it also comes as a package deal with a lot of emotional intelligence, a lot of nurturing ability, and a very strong imagination. And like I said, ultimately a very strong intuition. And intuition is a very powerful tool because it helps you see people, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you, I mean, you definitely have the potential to become a dark empath. That's pretty much the term that would describe you best. But I would say, really, in my opinion, dark empath basically just means self-aware empath. So someone who has all of the knowledge and the insight of empathy, but also the self-control to not allow themselves to be exploited. And even when push comes to shove or you have to deal with enemies, you can actually get underneath someone's skin. You know, with your empathy, your ability to read people from the inside out, you have such a strong insight into human nature that really nobody can match you. I'm getting like, and this is going to sound very potentially dark, but I'm getting someone like Hannibal Lecter. You know how Hannibal Lecter basically would get inside the minds of his victim because he was a psychotherapist? And obviously that's a very extreme example, and he was really a psychopath, I think, as a character. He was not a dark empath, but I think like you know, I'm thinking something along those lines. You know, it doesn't mean that you would be identically or become a cannibal or anything, but someone like that, you know, if you really want to mess with someone's mind, you could do it because you can read people extremely well. Like, it doesn't take you a long time to figure out what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, what they're afraid of, you know, what makes them tick. So that is really your strongest point. That is really your hidden weapon, really. If you are ever cornered, or if you're ever, you know, put in a situation where you have to deal with enemies or conflicts, these are the traits that you will fall back on. Your ability to basically understand others to the point where you can overly identify with them, really. So this is the general vibe that I'm getting, but let me look at the cards like step by step as well. So here, the first position right off the bat, and this speaks mostly of the present moment, but it's a general message in general. So it's not just about the present moment, but I think it's especially around the time when you come across this reading that you are very much in this Mars Ketu energy, right? So by the way, Mars and Ketu are the rulers of Scorpio. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have placements in Scorpio as well. Personally, I use the sidereal zodiac, but whichever you feel comfortable with. And yeah, placements in Scorpio could be a thing. Again, having Ketu conjunct personal planets, so anywhere between the Sun and Saturn, those are the personal planets. And for those of you who are coming from tropical, Ketu is the south node of the moon, basically. And it, like I said, in Vedic astrology, it's the co-ruler of Scorpio. It's the only sign that it co-rules. And aside from that, it is connected to past lives and spirituality, research, getting to the bottom of things. And it's basically everything that is kind of like mystical and woo-woo and has to deal with the unseen world, even things like death and bodies and all this stuff that's kind of dark. Yeah, if you're curious, as a parenthesis, I've actually done a video on my astrology channel, which you can find in the description, that is called Archetypes of Ketu, where I went through a long list of examples of famous people who have prominent Ketu placements and the kind of energy that they brought forth to the world. So, closing parenthesis. But this is the present, right? So we have this very strong Mars energy with the Chariot. This is someone who is not afraid to plow through obstacles. By the way, for some of you, I wouldn't be also surprised if you have maybe a Mars-Ketu conjunction in your horoscope, or a single-sided aspect from Mars to Ketu, or from Ketu to Mars, some kind of connection between Mars and Ketu. Because this basically in one word shows bravery, all right? And then we have the Temperance and the Ace of Cups. Again, I want to get another clarification just to get a clearer picture here. Spirit, tell me about the Ace of Cups here. Please clarify the Ace of Cups. I need more details. Tell me, Spirit. Okay. Wow. Holy moly. We have the Ten of Swords. Okay, another one. Please clarify the Ten of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Holy Mother of Christ. I mean, pile number one, you are an extremely intense individual. And again, I'm definitely thinking, another thing is, you could also have placements in Purva Bhadrapada and Nakshatra. I would say Ardra and Purva Bhadrapada are probably the most intense and also destructive and self-destructive nakshatras that you could come across. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, nakshatras are a concept from Vedic astrology that overlap the zodiac, and there's 27 of them. So each of them is falling in a particular zodiac sign, or sometimes in between zodiac signs. And yeah, they have their entire whole like description system, and there's a lot of insight that you can gain from them. So either way, these nakshatras of Ardra and Purva Bhadrapada are, they're seen as pretty savage, pretty intense, because a lot of the times they show people who have come from traumatic backgrounds. That's another thing. But also, on the other hand, there are people who are capable of dealing with a lot of hardship simply because, well, they have been brought up the hard way. A lot of the times they have learned through the school of hard knocks, you know, and they tend to, you know, be toughened up on some level, but they still generally maintain some basic empathy and understanding because of their upbringing and the harsh experiences that they go through. So in your situation here, I'm seeing the same message over and over again here, like the blending of fear and courage, which is, well, which makes sense because, you know, you probably maybe have heard this, I don't know, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but courage cannot exist in the absence of fear. It's like the more fearful you are, the more courageous you have to be in order to basically move forward and go after what you want. Because, you know, courage without fear is basically just recklessness or sometimes stupidity, right? If you don't feel fear, that just means you don't feel fear, right? There's no courage in that situation. Courage is basically measured based on how much fear you overcome. And I can see that you are someone who has dealt with a lot of fears. I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who has had some serious experiences of anxiety. And I'm seeing like prolonged periods of time of anxiety. And also you've had to just overcome, you know, you've had to push through or like find ways to cope. But since we also have the Ace of Cups here underneath the Temperance, and look, we have the clarification. Ace of Cups is love. I mean, it is heart chakra. It is love. It is self-love. Hello, self-love again. So here's the Venus energy once more, that healing energy. And then we have the, look at this. Yeah, Ten of Swords, which is rock bottom and extreme anxiety and pain. And then the Knight of Swords, which again is similar to the Chariot in energy, kind of like that plow through, no nonsense, no holds barred sort of energy. And yeah, just going after what you want. Gosh. Another thing with the Mountain, for some reason I'm getting the Desolation of Smog. What movie was that in? It was The Hobbit or something like that. Anyway, I digress. But this is the general vibe here. So you're someone who has toughened up because you have had to overcome some really extreme anxiety. And there's a blending between sensitivity and empathy, and at the same time a very kind of no-nonsense approach that most likely comes from having to deal with a lot of obstacles. I have to also say, with the Nine of Wands here at the beginning, you're probably in a pretty defensive state as well when you are reading this, when you come across this reading. But in general, because, you know, this is the general vibe. But especially around the time when you come across, you may identify with being really defensive and kind of like having your fists up. Yeah, there's a lot of defensiveness here, I have to say. And then we have the Ten of Wands and the Five of Cups. Again, I want to clarify. Spirit, please clarify the Five of Cups for me. Please clarify the Five of Cups for me, Spirit. Please clarify the Five of Cups, Spirit. Ace of Wands. Wow, again, conflicting, contradicting energy. Basically, your main theme here in this reading is temperance. That's what I'm seeing. And temperance is ultimately a blending of two dichotomous energies. And again, we see the blending of fire and ice here throughout your reading. It's like fire and water, okay, maybe not ice. Maybe that's not the best analogy. But what is standing in your way, actually, to progress is 10 of Wands with the 5 of Cups underneath, and then the Ace of Wands clarifying the 5 of Cups. So what this is showing is you have a tendency to cling to the past, to kind of cry over spilled milk. There might be a tendency, and again, that goes hand in hand with what I have seen throughout this reading, that you know, you're probably someone who has been through some things, a lot of disappointing experiences, a lot of painful experiences emotionally, a lot of heartache. And I think because of that, you still have a tendency to kind of like, you know, cry over things that you cannot change, things in the past, you know, being like disillusioned. And I think what Spirit is telling you here is that you need to recognize opportunities that are right in front of you and turn, I don't know if you've heard that expression, turn obstacles into stepping stones, or turn, yeah, something like that, obstacles into stepping stones, right? So instead of like, or another way to look at it is, don't get to the point where you don't see the woods for the trees. And basically look around you and see how you can maximize your resources. Don't get immediately intimidated by things or like scared by things because you blow them out of proportion at, you know, at first assessment. So always think about, how can I use this to my advantage, whether it's a situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's whatever it is in your life. Always think about, how can I make the most out of this, right? And another thing that Spirit is showing here is that you do have a tendency to basically think that you can have to do everything by yourself. And you're probably carrying more than your share of responsibilities and burdens and all this stuff. And so one thing that I think Spirit is saying is you need to learn to trust people, to rely more on people. Small incremental steps, you know, especially if, and I do think looking at the spread that you might have trust issues. But it is really important that you learn to just not think like you have to do everything by yourself. You know, rely on people. And also, don't think that you have to do other people's work. That's another thing. And this is another part that usually comes hand in hand with people who have had rough childhoods or have had a lot of abuse in their lives. They tend to, without realizing it, act like they have to try harder just to get approval or to get affection. So if you are not yet at the level of, you know, self-awareness where you catch yourself when you do that, and you're still under that subconscious mechanism that keeps you seeking for other people's approval, and in so doing you offer to do more than your share and try way too hard, or, you know, forgive people who don't deserve it or something. But in this case, I'm not actually seeing so much like an emotional blackmail situation. I'm just seeing maybe a tendency to work too hard when you could be relying more on others, or like, you know, the kind of people that if people come to you and say, hey, could you do this or that for me, you're afraid to say no because you're on some level maybe afraid that it's going to get you rejected, you know? So yeah, that's something you need to watch out for, basically, for your growth and for your progress. And this is showing like opportunities for new beginnings. This is a very strong message that there are opportunities right in front of you that you are not seeing right now. And like, I'm talking, again, Ace of Wands. I mean, this is a very powerful new beginning. It's something that once you realize, it's going to take off, like, you know, it's going to start sparking like a bag of gunpowder, you know, like with a match on it. Like basically lighting up a bag of gunpowder or a box of gunpowder, you know what I mean? Like something that is right in front of you. Think about what that could be. Like whatever it is that you want to achieve right now. I don't know, like maybe it's it could be anything. It could be fitness, it could be knowledge, it could be a college degree, it could be a new job, it could be a new career. Whatever it is, try to look around at absolutely everything. Try to look at things from a fresh perspective without thinking about all the things you've lost or things that are not going your way. Look around you with a fresh perspective and think about how you can make the most of what is in front of you, what opportunities you have at hand, what people you have around that might be able to help. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's another one. But yeah, something pretty major is like there's some major, you're sitting on some major potential here. That's one strong message. And then we have Three of Cups and the King of Pentacles. I have to say that Three of Cups and King of Pentacles to me shows, this is more specific maybe, but for some of you, this could be like a riches to rags story. I'm feeling like there could have been a fall from grace from some perspective, right? Or in some circle. Either you, and I'm not getting so much about something about romantic, right? So I don't think this is about relationship, but I think at some point in the past, you felt excluded from a circle. You had a circle that you lost. Like I'm talking friends, family, people you could trust, you could rely on. But again, this really falls hand in hand with what I've said so far in the sense that there could have been some betrayals happening. But what I'm getting here is that in the past, you had a stronger sense of belonging. Maybe you felt like you had closer friendships or just people that cared about you and you cared about them. And you also had a strong social status. And I think you also had a good amount of financial support. Not just support, sorry, but a good financial situation. And I think, yeah, some part of you is probably kind of crying over those days. Or you just feel, and again, this is not necessarily like a catastrophic difference. Like I said, for some of you, it could literally be like a riches to rags story where, I don't know, you went through some kind of significant change in lifestyle. Maybe you lost a job and had to settle for something that pays a lot less or something like that. That led to you having to change your social circle as well, or feeling like you're no longer included in a social circle. So yeah, take this how it resonates. It could be explained in a multitude of ways. But this is the general feeling. Like, I feel like you have lost your tribe. You know, like you had a stronger sense of belonging in the past and you felt more respected. You had a group of people that respected you. And you had a sense of stability and security in your life. Like you knew who you were and where you were going. Sorry. And now it's like that has disappeared on some level. I'm really curious, so please let me know in the comment section how this resonates. But then here we have the Nine of Swords, yeah? So the fifth position, we have the Nine of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Oh my God, yes. This is painting, how should I put it? It's like, it's adding more color to the picture. It's, you know, it's like the message is coming full circle here. And look at this, you had the Nine of Swords coming out twice, and you also had the Ten of Swords coming out. So there's a lot of anxiety here, which makes sense if you think about everything I've said so far. And I think that in the near future, right, so from the moment that you come across this reading in the near future, there's a lot of anxiety because you feel like you have to start over. Look at this. The Three of Pentacles. And I do think that for most of you, this has to deal with a career, how you make your livelihood. You feel like you have to start over. Now, whether, again, this would really make sense if you have lost your job at some point in the past, or like I said, for some reason or another, you're thinking about starting a new career. It could even be like, you know, it makes me think of athletes, for instance, who have a huge accident and then they have to think about something else they want to do with their lives because they can't continue, sorry, on the same path. It doesn't have to be that bad, catastrophic, but just an example. So it makes me think of something like that. So I definitely see that in the near future, there will be anxiety about having to start over, having to learn new skills, you know, maybe starting at a junior position in a company, getting to learn the ropes in a new career path. And there's also potential anxiety about getting along with people in work circumstances. Another thing is, well, going hand in hand with all this, some of you might have social anxiety that is interfering with your work, you know? And I know that this is like kind of sounding as negative, but this is also, you know, this is like the journey. This is the journey that is giving you your strength. So it is, I can understand that you are someone who's very sensitive. Let me put it like this. And your strength does come from that sensitivity. However, if you feel like you're being drained, you need to learn to practice the subtle art of detachment. It reminds me of that book, I think. There was a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Pardon my French. Either way, so here we have the Six of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Swords, and we have the Strength underneath. So, and then we have the Knight of Cups here. Again, I want to clarify the Knight of Cups. I'm running out of cards to clarify with. Spirit, please clarify the Knight of Cups. Oh my gosh. We have the Lovers with the number 6, which is even more Venus energy. Yo. And here we have the 6 again. So many 6s. Self-love, love, strength. Your biggest power is teaching others how to overcome, guiding others how to overcome their anxiety and reach a point of stability. So you would make a great psychotherapist, for instance. You would make a great coach of any kind, a motivational speaker of any kind, any person who is in any kind of a healing profession, even someone like a doctor, you know. You could even be helpful to all living things, not just people, right? You could be great at keeping a garden. You could be great at healing pets as well, or taking care of pets. But your biggest strength, and by the way, with all the Venus coming out, you probably have a strong Venus in your horoscope as well, or prominently placed planets in Libra or Taurus, or nakshatras ruled by Venus, which are Bharani, Purva Falguni, what's the other one? Oh my god. Oh, Purvashadha, yeah, which is in Sagittarius and Sidereal. So you could have prominent placements in these nakshatras, or prominent placements in, yeah, something ruled by Venus, or have Venus prominently placed, like Venus in the 10th house, Venus in the first house, Venus conjunct a significant planet in your horoscope. Again, if you come from Vedic, maybe it's Venus as Atmakaraka, or Venus conjunct the Atmakaraka, or the Amatyakaraka, right? So it's some of these prominent planets that have to deal with your ultimate destiny. So basically, your strength is you are a healer, but then you also have a very strong inner core. Like, you have an amazing resilience. I'm guessing for most of you, with all of the 9 of Swords and 10 of Swords energy, you are someone who has no idea how strong you are. And then we also have ancestors and apples. Oh my gosh, I just realized this. I did say Ketu. I wonder if the people who made these cards know about the number 7 and what it stands for. But Ketu, in Vedic astrology, like I said, it's connected to past lives. Therefore, hello, ancestors. Ancestors and apples. Yeah. So your strength is very intuitive, basically. And I think if you're a woman especially, I think your strength is something that is probably passed down on a female lineage. A lot of wisdom either way. Yeah, okay, so this has been pretty much what I can see from the cards. Let me get some more astrological insights. So let's see, Spirit, what can you tell me for pile number 1? What is their hidden power? What can you tell me, Spirit, for pile number 1? What is their hidden power? Oh my god. I was thinking about it the whole time when I was looking at that card, but I chose to shut up. But it came out. There it is in all its glory. You are the Lilith archetype. Let's see what else is going on. We have Pisces, Dreamer. So this is the Knight of Cups energy. There's a lot of water in this spread as well. So Pisces is water. We have second house, resources and values. Second house, again, ding, 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 corresponds to Taurus. And yeah, there's Venus energy in there. So we also have Virgo, the alchemist. Hello, medical science. I see that as a confirmation. And we have Aquarius, the visionary, which... By the way, Purva Bhadrapada falls in Aquarius. So does Satabhishak Nakshatra fall in Aquarius, which is a nakshatra that is connected to healing as well. It's called the nakshatra of 1,000 physicians to the gods. And it's known as being like a wounded healer archetype. People who go through a lot of crap and then they get strengthened up and they use their insights of their own suffering to become better healers for other people. And then we have, last but not least, we have the Lilith, all right? So with the Lilith, you are someone who explains all of this dichotomous energy, right? I could probably talk like hours about the Lilith archetype, so I am not going to get into all of the things that I could say about this here, but what I can say is it makes sense to me that you have this mixture of fear and intense strength, because that's pretty much the Lilith archetype in a nutshell as well. It shows up, this kind of, blending of energies does show up in, I think, a bunch of astrological archetypes, but Lilith is a really good one. Because it's kind of an energy connected to being a scapegoat. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you, or maybe many, or even all of you, have experienced being the scapegoat at some point in your lives, maybe in your own family, because, for instance, people who grow up in narcissistic families are notorious, notorious, they are known, okay, notorious was not the right word, they're known to oftentimes become scapegoats, because narcissists generally divide their children into the golden child and the scapegoat, and the golden child is the person that they project all of their grandiosity onto, all of their deluded self-perception onto. So the golden child becomes the child that has to succeed and make the narcissist look good, whereas the scapegoat is the child that the narcissist projects all of his or her inner shame and self-hatred onto. So they get the short end of the stick. Right? So I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who has been through some scapegoating, and especially for women who are watching this, because I know most of my viewers are women on my tarot channel and on my astrology channel as well. There is definitely something connected to sexuality. You could have been in situations where you were hypersexualized or shamed for your sexuality, made to feel like you should be ashamed. But I would say, again, it's more about scapegoating, even with sexuality. Like, usually with Lilith, you actually see women who have a kind of energy that makes them very attractive. Like, this is the kind of archetype, like maybe some of you have heard that Marilyn Monroe had Lilith in her ascendant. And, these kinds of women who basically attract men from all walks of life, even the most intellectual and self-controlled men tend to be attracted to them. And it's not even always about physical appearance. In Marilyn Monroe's case, it was about appearance, but it doesn't always have to be the case. It's usually about energy, and it's because Lilith has this kind of wild, untamed sort of vibe that men kind of subconsciously want to tame. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times, the Lilith-dominant women attract men who are potentially abusive, or even men who would otherwise be self-controlled and self-possessed and normal, might act crazy around them, because Lilith brings out this, subconscious issues. These subconscious issues and sometimes subconscious fantasies that men have to dominate women, or they, in other words, basically trigger men psychologically, because these women have this very kind of strong and wild sort of energy. Even when they're like sitting in a corner and doing nothing, they have a vibe that just basically says, don't mess with me because I could do things to you, even if they look innocent on the surface. So I've seen this a lot with women who are very Lilith dominated, that they tend to attract scapegoating, or this kind of projection. That's the best word, especially when it comes to sexuality. These kinds of men who say things like, you know, most disgustingly, they'll say things about women who get harassed or something. They'll say like, oh, she was basically asking for it, or she gave me a look that made me think that, you know, she wanted something, some attention. But in reality, it's all in their heads. It's like projection, really. And unfortunately, I've seen it a lot with Lilith dominant women, that they tend to attract this kind of attention. However, because of this, they oftentimes, especially once they grow into their strength and they become self-aware, and again become kind of the dark empath, that's another thing, they get into a point where they can actually be strong advocates for justice, for freedom, for standing up for yourself, for, you know, having a voice, sometimes standing up for the downtrodden or people who don't have a voice. So yeah, they can be champions of teaching others how to live in freedom in a healthy way. And yeah, it's all about empowering other people, basically, especially people who are downtrodden, but anyone who needs empowering, really. So yeah, this is your ultimate strength that I am seeing here, but let me get the Astro dice as a final step. Okay, Spirit, tell me about pile number 1. What is their hidden power? Okay, we have number 8. This can be connected to the 8th house or Scorpio transformation. We have Aries, not a big surprise. This is basically Mars energy here. Number 8 can also be the 8th sign of the zodiac, which is Scorpio. And we have Neptune, again, more Pisces energy. So the Pisces energy is basically going hand in hand with what I said in the beginning, also about this intuition thing and about the imagination. So you have a very strong sensitivity and imagination. The strongest word for Pisces is osmosis. So they can be so empathic that they will literally dissolve into the emotions around them and become one with their environment. Like, they can be so sensitive, they will pick up on the most subtle differences, right? The most subtle changes in their environments. They can pick up the most subtle micro expressions that a person has and tell, you know, oh, that person had a bad day, something happened to that person. No matter how good other people are at putting on a facade, the Pisces dominant person is going to be very empathic and very good at reading people. And then, of course, there's the imagination, like I said, and even things like, you know, very strong dreams, like getting messages through your dreams, through your subconscious, being able to access your subconscious easier than other people. Maybe that's something you want to look into as well, getting to things like, you know, how to access the subconscious, how to program the subconscious, the Silva method, if you have heard about that. Also things like logging your dreams, looking for repetitions in your dreams, see if you're getting messages through that. All of those things would be worth getting into. And then, of course, the Aries and the 8th house, very strong transformation. Basically, number 8 is also a numerology ruled by Saturn and Pluto, and it's actually the number connected to power on a material plane. So there you have it. You have the perfect blend of spirituality and physical power and the ability to manifest things into reality. And of course, Aries is the warrior archetype, which has shown in the reading through the Knight of Swords and the Chariot, right? So you're not afraid to be a pioneer, to be a trailblazer, to go where no other people have gone. You're probably pretty impulsive. There is that tendency, but you also have a lot of bravery, right? You have a lot of bravery and you have a lot of determination. You know, you're not someone who's easily intimidated. And yeah, this is pretty much what I have for you, and I hope you have enjoyed it. I definitely have. Pretty long reading. Definitely very strong, very, very strong messages. Like I said, so I really am curious to hear what you thought about it. Please feel free to comment in the comment section with anything you would like to share, what resonated, what didn't resonate. I don't know, tips that you might have also towards my reading style. Is there something in particular that you would like me to change or something to add? Yeah, feel free to comment anything in the comment section as long as you keep it respectful. And also, I want to remind you once again to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. It's the easiest way to support me and it is free. And also click on the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new tarot reading. Aside from that, if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by becoming a member in exchange for a small monthly fee or leaving a tip. Anything would be greatly appreciated. And aside from that, of course, if you are interested in getting a private reading from me, check out the video description. I have left my contact information there. You can email me for a list of prices and reading options and other details. And I've also left a link in the video description to reviews I have gotten for private readings in case you're curious to see them. Might help you decide if you want to get a reading from me. And last but not least, as I have mentioned, I also have an astrology channel, which I have started quite some years before this channel. And really, astrology is my main thing here on YouTube. And I have been into astrology for more than 20 years by now, more than 10 years into Vedic, and I predominantly still focus on Vedic astrology. But I also often use my insights from tropical as well as other systems like Batsa, Ziwei Doshu, numerology, Mayan zodiacs, and a bunch of other stuff, right? So if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check out my channel, maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye! Welcome, pile number 2. This is your reading if you have chosen this card over here with number 44. She is 1000 flowers and or this blue calcite crystal. This is going to be your shuffling selection phase. So if you don't want to sit through this phase, I'm going to add timestamp so you can skip directly to the interpretation. Let me start with the tarot card. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the blue calcite. What is their hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, about the blue calcite. What is their hidden power, Spirit? Okay, I don't know why I had the urge to turn that over right off the bat. Oh my gosh, we have the 9 of Wands, we have the 10 of Swords, we have the 9 of Pentacles, we have the 2 of Swords, we have the Judgment, and we have the King of Cups. Okay. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the blue calcite. Okay. Tell me, what is their hidden power? Wow. Pile number 2, you are tough, aren't you? Look at this. Oh, we have the 9 of Wands twice. All right. So, okay. Let me see. I'm going to get the Oracle cards. We're going to see how to unpack all of this. Already getting some ideas, but let's see. Not these cards. I'm gonna leave this for last. Okay, Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the blue calcite. All right, that one just popped out. What is their hidden power, Spirit? What is pile number 2's hidden power? Tell me. What is pile number 2's hidden power? What is pile number 2's hidden power? Spirit, what is pile number 2, the blue calcite, people's hidden power? Tell me. What is pile number 2's hidden power? I don't know why I immediately turned this one over, but okay, we have trust over there. Tell me, Spirit. Gosh, this deck is a nightmare, even though I like the cards. It's a nightmare to shuffle. Okay, Spirit, please tell me about pile number 2. Tell me, Spirit, about pile number 2. What is their hidden power? What is pile number 2's hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, please. This one, okay, we have the vessel. Actually, this doesn't feel right. Sorry for flipping on you, but it doesn't feel right at all. I trust my instincts. Tell me, Spirit, about pile number 2. What is their hidden power, Spirit? Oh, man. Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 2's hidden power? Tell me, Spirit. It's going to be a long night. Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 2's hidden power? The people who chose the... Oh, okay. The Mentor, number 6. Alright, so finally I have selected a card. I'm doing this in the middle of the night, of course, as usual. So we have the Mentor, number 6. This is a card that you have, an oracle card. Then we have Trust, this mermaid with trust. Then we have Pride, number 7, which is ruled by K2. Oh, we have Lioness, Protection, number 21, which is ruled by Jupiter. And we have Lizard, Regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt, embrace your transformation, put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. This is going to seem random, but maybe some of you actually are born in the day of on the day of the lizard in the Mayan zodiac. It's worth checking. All right, so we have Trust and we have the Mentor. And then you also have the 9 of Wands coming out twice. And you also have both the Queen and the King of Wands. Holy moly. And yeah, so... First of all, I just want to start by saying that there are some cards in common with pile number 1. So if you felt drawn to pile number 1, you might want to check it out. There might be messages there for you, but only if you felt drawn to it. Otherwise, no point in checking. So pile number 2. You have the number 8 right off the bat. So your first card that came out is She is 1000 Flowers with the number 44. 44 boils down to a number 8 in numerology, which is ruled by Saturn and or Pluto. It is a number connected to strength and power itself. And it's connected to endurance and material success, and also kind of, how should I put it? Building a life for yourself step by step, taking slow and steady steps, really, towards success. It's, yeah, because of the Saturn influence, those of you who come from astrology, you know what I'm talking about. Saturn is about delays, obstacles, frustrations, but it is also the planet that rules long-lasting results, long-lasting careers, long-lasting everything, because Saturn likes to do everything thoroughly. So even though you might take longer to do something or to reach your goals, you are someone who does things of quality, of value, things that are going to stand the test of time, and, you know, that bring you respect, and also that basically lift up your social status and your financial status. Aside from that, right off the bat, we have the 9 of Wands and we have the Ace of Swords. So this is telling me definitely that you are an intellectual person. You're intellectually gifted. And now the Pride card, and look at this, we have Lioness and Pride. This is really cool because in astrology, the sun is connected to Leo, right? And also it's a really interesting situation here, because if you look at, oh, okay, that's supposed to be a crown here, but if you actually look at the crown, it's actually made out of something that looks like goat horns or impala horns, or I don't know, some kind of a gazelle horn. I don't know if it's a gazelle or an impala or something, but it looks like horns, you know, from a herbivore. This is what her crown is made out of. And so it looks like a blending between Saturn and the sun. So maybe some of you have, you know, sun aspecting Saturn, Saturn aspecting sun, like sun conjunct Saturn, Saturn aspecting the sun by a single-sided aspect. If you come from Vedic astrology, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There could be a blending of, yeah, and also the Pride thing is connected to Leo as well, in astrology at least, because Leo is known to be a very prideful energy. And anyone who has a dominant sun or a dominant placements of Leo in their horoscope, they're generally going to be pretty prideful. So there is that energy. But look at this. We also have the number 21 on this card, which boils down to a number 3 in numerology, which is ruled by Jupiter. And then you also have this card over here, which is the mentor. Jupiter is actually connected to teaching, studying, higher education, especially higher education. Anything that has to do with, you know, vast amounts of knowledge, expanding one's horizons, seeing things from a broader point of view. Hello, a broader point of view. We have an owl here. So seeing things from above, seeing the big picture, teaching, educating, publishing, expanding one's horizons, and also expanding other people's horizons. Also potentially, you know, spiritually. I would not put religion in this category anymore because religion is becoming a joke. If you ask me, it's more about power struggles and corruption, not so much about enlightening people or, you know, teaching them the truth. But basically, yeah, in some rare instances, you could also say that Jupiter is connected to religion, and definitely according to astrology, it is connected to one's belief system. All right. So you have to deal, you know, not, well, yeah, you, because you're embodying this Jupiter energy. So you are someone who embodies this Jupiterian vibe of being a good teacher, a good mentor. You have the ability to guide others. You also have vast knowledge. You could have acquired a lot of knowledge from personal experience and from reading a lot. You rely heavily on the things that you have seen for yourself. You're probably a bit of a truth seeker as well, irrespective of what else is going on in your life. Trust and Jupiter go hand in hand in the sense that you could be someone who has a very strong sense of faith in life. Now, this doesn't, again, for some of you, it could be that you are part of an organized religion and you rely on that religion. For others of you, it's just this very strong sense of faith. It could be a strong faith in the universe, in yourself, in a higher self, and, you know, whatever it is, because nowadays it could be something more new age as opposed to a traditional religion. But whatever it is, you have this strong sense of faith that is guiding you through life, that you always fall back on. This is what I'm getting here. Like, this is your power. Your power is your ability to trust, I think, mostly yourself and the universe. Like, you have this strong sense of faith that things are going to work out, that everything's going to be fine. Ultimately, like, no matter how many things are challenging you in your reality, there's still some part of you that has that strong, unwavering sense of faith that is guiding you through life. And definitely, like I said, another hidden power is that you have the ability to see things, to put things into perspective. You know, you're the kind of person that is not going to get bogged down in details. You see the big picture. And look at this. Last but not least, we have the regeneration, right? Which is also coming out here with the number 44, the number 8. Because the 8th house and Scorpio, which is the 8th house, the 8th sign of the zodiac, they are very much connected to regeneration, rebirth, transformation. So we do have this energy of you having the ability to overcome pretty much any obstacle. There is a lot of hidden strength, definitely. We also have the 9 of Wands here, which, to be fair, is a pretty defensive energy, but it also shows the capacity to have a very strong fighting spirit. You know, not giving up, kind of a never say die sort of energy as well. We do have, and oh my God, I would be really curious to see your horoscopes over here, to be fair, because look at how much Leo symbolism you have. Like, you must have some strong sun energy in your horoscope. Like, either the sun is conjunct many planets, or you could have, again, placements in Leo, whether it's ascendant in Leo or any planet in Leo. Or you could have planets in the nakshatras that are ruled by the sun. If you come from Vedic astrology, you know exactly what those are. Kritika, let me think, which are the ones? Yeah, Kritika, Uttara Falguni, and Uttara Ashadha nakshatras. One of them is falling in between Aries and Taurus. The other one is falling in, I think it's Leo and Virgo. And the other one is falling in Capricorn. So these nakshatras, oh my gosh, Uttarashadha, I think many of you have placements in Uttarashadha, because that is the blending of Saturn and Sun as well. But it doesn't have to be the only possibility. You could also just have, let's say, like I said, Saturn aspecting the Sun or something. There could be some connection between the Sun and Saturn in your horoscope. But there's a very strong Leo energy here. So there is a very strong sense of pride with you, which is another hidden power. A lot of people nowadays tend to look at pride as a negative thing, but I personally don't agree with that whatsoever. I think having a strong sense of pride means that first and foremost, you don't take crap, basically. You're someone who has a strong sense of self. You have strong boundaries. You know who you are. You know what your worth is. You know what you deserve. And you know what you don't deserve. So basically, you just know your boundaries. You know when to put your foot down. And you stand your ground. You're not someone who's easily going to be, manipulated or bullied into submission. There's like that strong sense of the Leo energy is very much about holding their ground. Of course, they also have the ability to be charging when necessary. And also the power of Leo is creation. That's another one. Like, you have very strong creative powers, I'm willing to bet. With the Queen and the King of Wands here, no way that there isn't a very strong creativity. And you look at this, we have the 10 of Swords and we have the Queen of Wands underneath. What could be a better illustration of what I said? Basically, the ability to come back up time and time again, no matter how many times you get knocked down. Reminds me of that song from the 90s. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was like a one-hit wonder. It was something like, I get knocked down, but I get up and up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. Yeah, whatever. It's really fun. I don't know why that song just came to my mind. Anyway, so this is the kind of vibe. This is the kind of vibe that you have. I have to tell you, though, the cards do warn of potentially allowing your pride to get out of control sometimes. Like, it's good to have pride, but be careful that you don't slip into that danger of having too much ego and therefore not seeing things clearly, because you're too caught up in your ego, and anything that is a threat to the ego, no matter how true or accurate, is going to be discarded because you're just made to feel uncomfortable by looking at the truth, right? So if you want to stay true to your path and you want to be a truth seeker, which I think deep down you want that. I think deep down you are all truth seekers in this pile. You are someone, I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who, has a very deep desire to know the big picture, like the meaning of life and what God thinks, and I don't know if there's life on other planets, and I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who's very curious about all of these things. And also I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are people who are big readers, or people who watch documentaries a lot. You are interested in multiple things, and you like to get intellectually stimulated. But you need to be careful, not to allow the ego to get too far out of hand. It's like a little bit of pride is good, too much pride is bad, right? And aside from that, so like I said, I started from the beginning, you're a very smart person. One of your biggest powers is your intellectual ability, your capacity to be very clear-minded, have a very sharp judgment. Because we also have, look at this, Judgment and the 9 of Wands. Wait a minute, I'm going to clarify. Spirit, please clarify the 9 of Wands over here. Please clarify the 9 of Wands. Please, Spirit. Oh my God. The Tower. Okay, I need more details. Please clarify the Tower. Okay, this one wanted to come out. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. Oh, I see what happened here. So you have, well, actually, wait a minute. This is the near future. You're going to have a moment in the near future. This is more of a message, not so much directly connected to what your power is, but you're going to have a moment in the near future when something is going to happen with respect to your ideas and the way that you view the world. There's going to be some kind of massive restructuring of the way that you view the world. Some of your beliefs could collapse entirely. Something could happen in your environment that will make you question how you have seen things for a long time. But it's a good thing, because as a result of this, you're actually becoming that much sharper, you know, that much more intelligent. You're going to have an even clearer perception of reality and a very sharp intellect. Like, you have the ability to be like a human lie detector. And unlike pile number one, because there have been some similar themes, I'm not going to lie, but unlike pile number one, the main difference here is that with you, the biggest strength is critical thinking, logical thinking. I wouldn't be surprised as well if you're somebody who also has talent for science or mathematics or something like that, because there's a lot of an attention to detail and a desire to be very logical as well. There's definitely something strong in your makeup. And aside from that, having the King of Cups at the end, and we have the 7. Again, I want to clarify this one. I'm doing a lot of clarifications, but I'm feeling the need. What can I say? Please clarify the the 7 of Wands for me. Okay, Death. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is like the third, is it the third reference? Yeah, I would take it as a third reference to some kind of massive transformation. There is some massive transformation going to happen for you. But irrespective, you're someone who is going through an unending stream of transformations. You have, like this card says, your biggest strength is regeneration. I'm going to clarify again. Please clarify the Death card, Spirit. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so your strength is your ability to continuously, your hidden power. I think one of your hidden powers is your ability to adapt intellectually. So you clearly have this unending potential for transformation, but I think the main version of transformation that I see here is adaptability. And you, for instance, are continuously learning new things, polishing your skills. And one of your biggest powers is your ability to get very in-depth into particular fields. Like, if you're the kind of person that has intense interests, and once you latch on to an interest, you get right down to the bottom. You know, you want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes, so to speak. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you actually have prominent Scorpio and or Ketu placements. Another thing, yeah, because Ketu is connected to research. And again, you could also have placements in the Ketu nakshatras, which are Ashwini, Magha, or Mula. I would say especially Mula in this case, because it matches all the other vibes and energies that I'm seeing here. But anyway, let me not digress too much. But one of your biggest powers, like I said, is your ability to study, to learn new things, to master things. But it's not just to, so it's not just like a jack of all trades vibe. It's like you actually have the ability to go in depth and continuously reinvent yourself. And this reinvention can be applied to life in general, but especially when it comes to career. King of Cups, yeah, 7 of Wands, and I have to say, one of your strengths is also intellectual debates. One of your strengths is your ability to hold your own in an argument. You are someone who has, high level in analytical thinking. and very good discernment. You know right from wrong, and nobody can. You're probably someone who has strong beliefs, whether you realize that or not. You're probably someone who has, like, you know, strong principles, belief systems that you guide yourself through life. It makes me think of the path of the, no, not the path of the samurai. There was this movie from the 90s or the 2000s called Samurai Dog by Jim Jarmusch. You might want to watch that movie. And then comment in the comment section if you felt like any part of it appealed to you or resonated with some, you know, hidden part of your subconscious. It's a very, I don't know why that movie just came to my mind, but something like that, you know, someone who has strong views about things. You know, you have an opinion about anything. You know, you're the kind of person that, and I don't mean like in a Karen point of view, but you could form an opinion about just about anything, because you have a strong ability to put things into perspective, to have an overview. And even if you're not an expert in a field, like you could see a piece of something in the news and you will have strong pro and con arguments about it, and you could, you know, back up your perspective with very solid arguments, because you're, again, because of your prime intellectual abilities. By the way, I wouldn't be surprised also if you have very strong Mercury energy, because yeah, the Mercury is strong here, and also Aquarius placements. Yeah, pretty much. This is what I mean. Basically the main power here is intellectual, but there's also the ability to regenerate, to adapt. I think also to handle yourself under pressure. There's also an ability to be a leader. You have a very strong ability to be a leader, and that's ultimately the sun energy. I think the sun archetype in its best expression, in its most evolved expression, is a leader, but someone who leads by example. So you have the capacity to inspire people, you know, to light the way in a way, because that's sun energy. You would be an excellent lawyer as well. We also have the Two of Swords here. So this is the past. Two of Swords and the Five of Cups. I think in the past, you have suffered too much of analysis paralysis, which is typical for anyone who's kind of intellectually oriented. You get to a point where you might be stuck in a rut with your thinking. You know, your mind keeps spinning in circles, or you keep coming up with endless lists of pros and cons without being able to reach a conclusion. And there might be some regrets, I think, when it comes to missed opportunities, but I think Spirit is clearly telling you that, well, first of all, there's no point crying over spilled milk, that's for sure. And then, of course, there are opportunities in front of you right now, so make the most of them. But I do see that in the past, you may have missed out on opportunities because you have hesitated for too long, and or because of intellectual reasons, like you have passed on opportunities in life because they didn't match your very specific, you know, list of values and principles that you normally guide yourself by. Yeah, this is pretty... Okay, I have to clarify one more time. Please clarify the Five of Cups here, Spirit. Please clarify the Five of Cups. Spirit, please clarify the Five of Cups. The Fool. Yep. The Fool is not actually about stupidity, but it's about being impulsive and kind of like... another thing with this is, because of the trust here, I think you were too trusting in the past as well. Being trusting is a good thing, to a large extent. Like I said, you have this inner sense of faith and you know, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you actually are religious, or either way, you have some kind of strong sense of faith, whether it's a strong sense of faith in yourself or a higher power or something. But I think in the past, there may have been situations where you were a little bit too trusting, you know, or like you left too much to chance. That's another thing. You left too much to chance, and because of that, you may have missed out on opportunities, but you are learning. That is the past. Another warning message that I see here for you is don't overly fixate on wealth. I think judging by the placements that I'm seeing here, you might be overly focused on making money. And that's actually getting in the way of your development and you reaching your potential, because you should be focusing on your craft and your ideas and your morality as well. Because I know I'm really getting the strong sense, like I said, I would be surprised if there are people in this pile who don't have a strong sense of morality and don't have some kind of guiding system that they, some kind of code, you know, a moral code that they stick by. This is why I'm telling you, you should watch Samurai Dog. If you haven't seen that movie, that's the vibe that I'm getting here. Okay, that's an exaggerating energy of what I'm seeing here in the spread. And of course, this is a general reading, so not everyone is going to be that intense, but something along those lines. You know, you need to believe in something. You need a moral code. You need some higher principles to guide yourself through for your sanity. Yeah, but this is pretty much, these are the messages that I'm seeing here. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this directly, but yeah, I said leader. You would also be a good teacher, and anything to do with creativity is a strength as well. Creativity and transformation as well. So you could be someone who, I don't know, could be good at reconditioning old musical instruments or old artwork or something. You would also be interested in something like that, like basically turning something old into something new, making the most of resources, or getting into something like managing waste. That would also be something you would be good at. Okay, where are my cards? Oh yeah. Okay, Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. What is their hidden power, Spirit? Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 2's hidden power? This? Okay. Gemini. Didn't I say Mercury? That's Mercury for you. Oh my gosh, more Mercury. Virgo. I did say you are intellectual, didn't I? Oh, wow. Aquarius. Such strong confirmations. And third, are you effing kidding me? Like, all of the intellectual energies of the zodiac are in here. And we also have 6th house work and routine. All right, so pile number 2. Very strong confirmations here. Like I said, your biggest power is your intellect, your mind, your ideas, your analytical capacity, your ability to discern, to tell right from wrong. And believe me, in today's world, this is a rare and precious gift. And the world needs more people like you. And yeah, don't let anyone pull the wool over your eyes. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that, but just thought I would give you a pat on the back. Gemini, yeah, Virgo. So you're good at communicating. You're good at thinking in general. You probably come up with all kinds of original ideas, especially with the Aquarius energy. And again, you also have the attention to detail. And like I said, in the past, I think you may have had situations of analysis paralysis, but as you have gotten better at this, I don't see any Jupiter in here so far, but I do see it here. So I think you are becoming more of a Jupiterian right now. So the difference is that Mercurial energy, the 3rd house, the Virgo and the Gemini, is more focused on analytical situations, like breaking things down to its components and then analyzing the components. whereas Jupiter is about seeing the big picture. But they're both connected to knowledge, right? It's just different kinds of knowledge. And that's why Jupiter is seen as higher education, higher knowledge, like philosophy and religion, and expanding one's horizons through continuous studying and traveling as well, also through direct experience. So being exposed to all different kinds of experiences, learning from interactions with different people, and yeah, like I said, traveling could be an important thing. And you have, very strong ability to communicate as well. You could be a very convincing speaker, for instance. Like I said, you could be good at debates. You would make a great lawyer. You're a very independent thinker. People don't easily influence you. You have like I said, you probably are the kind of person who has strong likes and dislikes, and you have opinions about everything. You don't have any problem kind of figuring out how you think or feel about something. And then we also have 6th house, work and routine. So your power is also about hard work. And it's with the 6th house, it's about finding stability in chaos as well. This is how I would read it. So it makes sense in the context of that 8th house energy and the transformation that came through and the death and everything. Wow, it's really coming full circle, isn't it? And also 6th house could be, you have a talent to deal with enemies with competition. But mostly I think with the 6th house, that's your talent, your ability to find balance even in turbulent times and chaos, and kind of always end up floating. Somehow, like floating on the surface. Okay, let me see more. Spirit, tell me about pile number 2. What is their hidden power? Oh my gosh, here we have more number 6. So yeah, we also have Neptune, which is ruling Pisces, and we also have Cancer. I was not expecting that. So, oh yeah, the King of Cups. It does make sense. So you do have some water energy, and I think this is ultimately like more of your, let's say, untapped potential. I think it's probably something that you're not fully comfortable with, but the more you grow, the more you progress, the more emotionally intelligent you become. And also, you probably are going to get comfortable with your intuition as well. And the moon also speaks of protection, right? Which makes sense with the 9 of Wands coming out twice. You have a great ability to protect yourself from outside disturbances, and also sometimes literally to protect the people or the things that you care about. And you also have a strong nurturing ability. 6th house also coming out twice can also be about one of your pieces of power, or I don't know, points of power could actually be your health. I mean, I should have thought about this. You do have lizard regeneration, and you have all these 8th house energies. Of course, this is not going to be for everyone, but for some of you, you could have amazing regeneration abilities physically. Like, you could be the kind of person who recovers relatively easily after accidents or after illness. It's like maybe you have gone through multiple things physically that felt really damaging, and yet somehow you managed to pull through. I definitely think your health is your power as well. And another way to look at it, and it could be both things at the same time, you could also have a great ability to heal yourself. Like, you have a very strong knowledge of your body, maybe a strong knowledge of medicine as well. So for some of you, you could be doing well in the medical science, especially with Virgo. A very strong knowledge and understanding of your body, and knowing how your body works and what it needs to heal. And then intuition, I feel, is more like a work in progress with you. But I think as time progresses, you will be really comfortable using your intuition as well. And yeah, this is pretty much what I have for you, pile number 2. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. I definitely have very strong messages as usual, and I'm very curious to hear what you think about this. Feel free to comment in the comment section with what resonates, what doesn't resonate, as long as you keep it respectful as well. And of course, if you have ideas for future topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to share them in the video description. And I will remind you once again to please subscribe if you haven't done so already. It's the easiest way to support me and it is free. Also, consider clicking the notifications bell if you want to see when I upload a new tarot reading. And if you're interested in supporting my channel further, you can do so by becoming a member in exchange for a small monthly fee, and or you can also tip under any of my videos. Anything would be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, if you're interested in a private tarot reading from me, check out the video description. I have left my email address there. You can email me for a list of reading options with their respective prices and other details. And I've also left a link in the video description to reviews I have gotten for private readings before, in case you're curious to see them. Might help you decide to get a reading from me. And last but not least, I also have an astrology channel. I'm going to link it in the video description as well. And that was actually the first channel that I started with on YouTube. I have started it way longer than this channel, for much longer back than this channel. And I focus mainly on Vedic astrology, but also with some tropical insights. I have more than 20 years of experience reading horoscopes, more than 10 in Vedic, and that is my preferred method right now. But I use my insights from tropical as well, and a bunch of other systems of astrology, like Chinese astrology, Batsa, Ziwei Do Shu, and also the Mayan zodiac, and also numerology. Yeah, just to name the main ones, but there are also some other things that I use, yeah. So anyway, if you're interested in astrology, go ahead and check out my channel. Maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye. Welcome pile number 3. This is your reading if you have chosen this card over here with number 36, the Witch's House, and or this green aventurine crystal. So this is going to be the card selection phase / shuffling, and I'm going to add timestamps so you can skip directly to the interpretation if you don't want to sit through this. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the people who chose the green aventurine. What is their hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power? 3 of Cups, the Magician, the Queen of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the Tower, the Ace of Cups. Okay. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the Aventurine crowd. What is their hidden power? Justice, the Emperor. Wow, pile number 3. Oh my gosh, pile number 3, the Magician twice. Knight of Cups, 9 of Swords. Holy moly, this is intense. Pile number 3, who are you? What is going on? Okay. Let me get the oracle cards now. So, Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What is their hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power? Okay. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What is pile number 3's hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power? Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power? Spirit. Okay. Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power? Spirit, first of all, help me, give me strength to shuffle this very annoying deck. Yeah, all right. Spirit, please tell me, what is pile number 3's hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power. Okay, this one. Okay, here it is, the Sustainer, number 24. All right, so we have the Sustainer, number 24. And let's see what else. We have Dreaming. We have Loon Intuitive. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. There's already a symmetry here in between intuitive and dreaming. And then we have Courage, number 30, which is ruled by Jupiter. And we have Orca. Oh my God, are you seeing this? Hello, we have the number 30 twice. This is not a coincidence. There are no coincidences in this video or any of my videos, all right? We have Courage, number 30. We have Orca song lines with number 30. So strong Jupiterian energy, potentially Neptunian and Moon energy as well. All right, aside from this, y'all, you have the Magician coming out twice. I couldn't believe my eyes here. You have the Magician coming out twice. Don't tell the others, but y'all are special. So please clarify the Magician here, because I'm very curious, Spirit. Please clarify this Magician. What do you mean by that Magician over there? Please tell me. I don't know if that's the one. Tell me clearly which is the clarification. Tell me, Spirit. Clarify that Magician for me. The second one in the... Okay, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, I'm going to clarify again. Bear with me. Please clarify the Eight of Pentacles. I want to make sure. Okay. We have Page of Swords. So, at the moment when you come across this reading, the Witch's House. Well, not just when you come across this reading in general, you are a very fair person. You're someone who has a very strong sense of right and wrong. And you're also someone who has an amazing capacity to manifest things into reality. And I don't mean through wishful thinking or, you know, doing... Have you seen those videos on YouTube with manifesting, you know, where they're like doing lists of things they want and reading them before they go to bed? To me, I don't know, and again, call me a naysayer, call me not a true tarot reader or whatever, but I don't fully trust those things. As in, I 90% or more do not trust them. But that's not what I mean by manifester. I mean someone who has the capacity to see what could be and make it happen. By step-by-step applications, by working with reality and what is. Now, whether some of you might actually be into manifestation and making lists and having a vision board, I don't know. Please let me know in the comment section. I'm actually curious. But you do have the ability to get your will done. Not everyone has this gift, and believe me, I read astrology as well, and I know what I'm talking about. Some people just have a talent to get what they want in life. A talent and also a blessing from the universe, because they probably have little to no karma to clean out in this lifetime, right? And because of that, they are lucky enough that they are allowed to just pursue their interests, their visions, their goals. But I think the key word here is vision. You're someone with a vision, all right? And your strength is the ability to manifest things, to literally start from an idea and then move on to the next steps, creating a project, creating a vision board, whatever it is you need, brainstorming, and then starting, you know, taking it step by step and eventually actually realizing it. You have a very powerful ability to manifest. I'm talking Bill Gates level. I'm talking Elon Musk level. I'm talking anyone who has ever achieved anything worthwhile level of manifestation. I don't want you to leave here with a big head, but this is what I'm talking about. I mean, hello, the Magician did not come out twice by accident. But, there's always a but. One thing that I can say though is be careful that you do not self-sabotage. The fact that, see, here's the thing, this is the opposition and this is the support, and the Magician is coming out in both of them. And what this shows me, and especially since the second time it comes under the Queen of Swords, is that you could have a tendency, a pretty strong tendency towards self-sabotage. And usually with the Queen of Swords, it's a subconscious thing. With the Loon coming out here in the dreaming, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have a strong moon energy in your horoscope. Strong moon energy means that the subconscious is very active, and you might have you might have a lot of things that are made subconscious, that are kind of shoved into your, that are kind of, memories that have been shoved under the rug and are kind of festering there because you refuse to look at them. And that's how self-sabotage starts. It's basically parts of yourself that you have buried a long time ago because you don't want to look at them, that are kind of festering, right? They're locked up in the closet or they're buried under the rug, and they're getting impatient. And instead, like to get your attention, they're creating obstacles for you. They're, tripping you so that you pay attention to them. Let me give you an example. Let's say that, how should I put it? I don't know. Let's say, for example, you want to be successful in your career and therefore you're going to university because of that. But a big part of you doesn't want to go to university. Or like a big part of you is afraid that if you go to university and that if you become successful, that let's say you're going to die alone, because maybe because of your upbringing or because of the models you've had growing up, you especially as a woman, let's be honest, you get the message that if you pursue your passions, men are not going to find you attractive, right? So you have a deep subconscious fear that if you become successful, that if you pursue your ambitions, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life because no man is going to want to marry you. So what's going to happen is, even though your conscious self, right, is going to be like, nope, that's it, I am going to pursue my career ambitions no matter what. Nobody's going to stop me. But those parts of you that are afraid of what might happen are going to start sabotaging. So they're going to keep you up until, 5 o'clock in the morning watching TV shows when you have to wake up the next day to get to a morning class, right? Or they will, I don't know, get you hooked on addictions, make you get drunk before an exam, for instance. And the conscious part of you is going to be constantly frustrated, like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I get my SHIT together, right? And you're not going to figure out that you're actually creating obstacles for yourself because there's a big part of you that is not happy with the progression of your life, right? Or there are a lot of hidden fears there that have not been dealt with, that have not been looked at, and they're acting against you. Pretty much, this is the best way that I can explain self-sabotage. So there is some of that going on. Basically, Spirit is showing you here that you can be the master of your own misery, or you can be the master of your own happiness. It's all up to you, but you have to learn to become conscious. You have to learn to integrate all parts of yourself, go through therapy. Maybe whenever I get the Queen of Wands, usually also when I get the Moon, but in your case I got the Tower and the Nine of Swords. I mean, hello, there are strong indicators here that you would benefit from therapy, I have to say. All right, I'm gonna get some more clarification as I go along, by the way, but so far it's like, and it's, oh my god, I actually just realized that I used this example without even fully thinking through about all the meanings of these cards. But the fact that you got the Eight of Pentacles here as a clarification for the Magician, and then the Page of Swords as a clarification for the Eight of Pentacles, this is actually very telling. This could actually speak of you maybe having gone down the wrong career path at some point. And I'm trying to be careful, but obviously I'm not careful enough. I don't want to say that, I don't know, I'm not trying to say that you are on the wrong path in life or something. The wrong career path does not necessarily mean that, oh my God, your life is over or something like that. But it does mean that I think because you have, again, like the example that I mentioned, because you maybe have only listened to one part of yourself, you have gone down a path that was not entirely satisfactory, or it was something that you thought on a conscious level would make you happy, but it was, pursued at the cost of a big side of yourself that is not happy pursuing that, if that makes sense. And you need to try to figure out a way to find a balance between different parts of yourself. Like what is it that is going to make every part of yourself happy? And I know it's hard, but let me put it to you like this. With 2 magicians here in the spread, you have an amazing capacity to succeed massively. But in order to succeed massively, you have to do the work. You have to do the work. You cannot, let me put it to you like this. You cannot follow the beaten path. Because again, if you think about all the examples that I mentioned, the Elon Musks, the Bill Gates, these are not people who follow the beaten path, right? Didn't Bill Gates drop out of college? I don't even know if Elon Musk went to college. Did he? I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. So you need to be ready to, this is like, so let me start with the beginning one more time. Your big strength, okay, is manifestation, creation, in another word. But there's work to be done, all right? And I feel like Spirit has left these messages in here for a reason, because you are meant to hear them. I mean, just look at the fact that underneath the Magician, you have the Emperor. So you have the capacity to become someone, and look at this, you have the Sustainer here. An entrepreneur, someone that a lot of people depend on, or someone who positively influences a lot of lives. But you have to do the work of becoming self-aware, and you also have to do the work of listening to yourself, even when the rest of the world, everyone else maybe, is telling you that you're on the wrong path. So you need to learn to trust your inner voice, your judgment. We also have 5 of Pentacles and Knight of Cups underneath. What I'm getting here is that in the past, there may have been some issues of abandonment. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, this is what I'm seeing, really. I wonder, again, feel free to comment in the comment section. I'm really seeing that maybe some of you, may not be for everyone, have experienced some serious abandonment. Now, bear in mind that abandonment does not just literally mean someone abandoning you. It doesn't mean that your parents left you in an orphanage. Obviously, that would be a very literal example. But abandonment can also refer to just not having any support. There are loads of kids out there who grow up in families that don't care about them, really. And even though the parents gaslight them and the parents tell them that they love them, the truth is they don't really do anything to nurture the true individuality of the child. They only care about the child as long as the child could serve them in some way, right? They only do the bare minimum of parenting, but they don't actually celebrate the child as an individual. They don't fully pay attention to the child's needs specifically, right? To actually create the perfect environment for the child to thrive in. And that's a form of abandonment, really, because when you're growing up as a child, you have all these needs that never get met. Let's say, I don't know, you have a strong need to get a lot of emotional support, but your parents are never there for you, and they're telling you to just keep a stiff upper lip, and, big girls don't cry, or big boys don't cry. That's a form of abandonment. That's abandonment over and over and over again. So there can be, again, a very strong subconscious fear of abandonment. See how that resonates. That, of course, if present, could be reverberating throughout your entire life, could be influencing you in ways that you're not even fully aware of. And this part here, I have to admit, this is potentially messy, so I'm going to get some more clarifications here because I have to hear what this is about. Spirit, please clarify the 9 of Swords over here. Okay, not that bad. The Chariot. Please clarify. Okay, the other one. Please clarify the Tower. We have the Strength. Wow. In the near future, I really think that this is about the here, what's going on here. In the sense that in the near future, you might be going through some kind of massive breakthrough that is going to help you. There will be a collapse of some sorts, but this could be, again, bear in mind, I'm reading for a lot of people. So for some of you, it could be something physical, like something major happening in your life, like the loss of a job, the loss of a serious relationship. Doesn't have to be all loss, you know, but generally the Tower is a kind of Tower moment, you know, so meaning something's going to happen. So some kind of a collapse is going to happen of something around you, right? That's the Tower energy. And that could happen, but it's going to lead to strength. So it's going to lead to you basically just falling back on your inner strength and increasing your confidence, increasing your endurance and your knowledge, and especially your faith in yourself, ultimately. With the strength coming out, with the courage coming out here, you're someone who has a lot of strength. You have the ability to handle a lot of crisis situations and keep landing on your feet. But I think what would be most interesting is for those of you that the Tower represents something psychological about. So this could be like some kind of a massive breakthrough, let's say in therapy, right? Where you get some feedback that makes you rethink how you see the world or how you see yourself. But something that makes you rethink things, you know? And it leads to a greater clarity. And what is most optimistic, really, to me, is the 9 of Swords and the Chariot underneath. This is definitely showing that as a result of this Tower moment and the strength underneath, you're going to get this massive boost in your acceleration, you know? Like, you're going to accelerate towards success that much faster because of this breakthrough. There's a collapse of something that has to go. So like I said, for some of you, take it how it resonates. For some of you, it could be something physical that is no longer working, holding you back in your life. Like I said, could be a job, could be a career, could be a relationship, could be people around you, a friendship, anything. But for some of you, maybe it's not something so much externally as it is something internal, like a belief system, something you're clinging to, you know, a belief about yourself, a belief about the world that is just no longer serving you. And as a result of this collapse, look at this, great result. And the happy ending is really shown at the end. I mean, this is like the ultimate conclusion of this reading, and it's extremely positive. Ace of Cups and then the 6 of Wands, this is ultimate success. So Spirit is giving you a strong message here that after you do the work, after this collapse, you're reaching a 6 of Wands moment. It's like the rainbow is at the end of your transformative Tower moment, if that makes sense. This is it's pretty clear and like self-explanatory in your case, really. Yeah. I was also going to say that with the Sustainer and the Loon Intuitive and the Witch's House, some of you might have really strong moon, like I said, strong moon energy, maybe strong Cancer placements, a lot of planets in the 4th house. So I think that one of the things that gives you power, or a special power that you have, is your ability to nurture others, to make other people feel like home, to make other people feel at home. And like I said, I really think for many of you, you have the strong capacity to become an entrepreneur or some kind of a leader as well. Okay, this is pretty much what I'm getting from the cards. Let me see the astrological stuff. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What is their hidden power? What is pile number 3's hidden power, Spirit? What is pile number 3's hidden power? Tell me, Spirit, what is pile number 3's hidden power? Wow. We have Mars, drive and power. We have trine, support and inspiration. We have conjunction, fusion and energy. We have Aquarius, the visionary. That's more of the magician energy. Oh my God, we have moon, feelings and subconscious. This is a strong confirmation. Chariot and Mars are also confirmations. They kind of go hand in hand. So, your strength, initiative, being a trailblazer, an opening of new paths, an opener of new paths. Someone who is a, did I say pioneer? Yeah, someone who is not afraid to be the first of a kind, to pursue even the most wild visions and dreams and make them happen. And the moon, again, the moon and the Mars coming together, your strength is in your intuition and your ability to act on your intuition. And I have to say, this is not to say that you don't have the capacity to be objective. I'm sure that you do. You can be objective and logical and all that. But your biggest strength actually is something a little bit more mystical than just plain old logic. You have a blending of intuition and instinct. You have the ability to act at the right time, in the right way. But this is provided that you do the work. Like I said, the work of trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, your judgment, pursuing what you want wholeheartedly without hesitation and without self-sabotage. And following your vision, whatever your vision is, because I'm sure many of you who are listening to this reading, you are sitting on some kind of a dream. I mean, look at this. We also have dreaming here. You're sitting on a dream. You have some kind of dream, a vision, or something that you have wanted to achieve for a very long time. And Spirit is telling you through this reading that you have all it takes to make it happen. All right? And if you keep hitting a wall over and over again, like maybe you keep running into obstacles or unexpected situations, or just somehow, maybe some of you have tried achieving something, but somehow it just doesn't work. Maybe you've tried multiple times. And if that is the case, therapy would help to give you clarity on what your hidden self-sabotaging habits are and how you can get rid of them. But like I said, with the moon and the Mars, you are a protector and provider, like irrespective of your gender. You know, if you're a woman, you're kind of like a Khaleesi archetype. Like people look at you and they feel safe. They feel safe around you. They'll be like, oh, so-and-so is in the room. I feel safe now. I know she's going to handle it. And you may not see yourself that way, but people tend to trust you. They tend to like naturally maybe even see you as, I don't want to say a leader necessarily, but they see you as someone who's very capable, someone who can handle crisis situations and can bring people to the light. Almost like a Moses figure, you know, like you could part the Red Sea if necessary. Okay, let me get the Astro dice. Spirit, tell me about pile number 3. What is pile number 3's hidden power? Okay, we have Capricorn. We have, oh my gosh, number 4 again. Here we have 4, the 4th house, the moon, like I said, and we have Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio in tropical astrology, and it's connected to the 8th house and transformations as well. So, this is really, again, 8th house as well, to some extent. This is about manifesting and a vision and having intensity of purpose and drive and tenacity enough to achieve something, right? The staying power, the stamina. Capricorn as well shows that part of your power as well is your ability to be patient. You're probably not someone who's easily gonna back down or quit or get intimidated as soon as they hit the first obstacle. And you understand that good things take time. Your ability to plan, to see the big picture, and to break it down into separate steps and milestones, that is a huge power, right? Having that ability means that you have the ability to turn your dreams into reality, like I said. And you also have the ability to spot imperfections. You know, you look at a situation and you can tell this is going to stand the test of time. This is superficial. We need to get rid of it. So you spot quality and you care about quality over quantity. This is another big power of yours. And this is really specific, but I think many of you draw power from your mother, from your mother's bloodline, maybe a mother figure as well. Maybe not like actually your mother, but a mother figure. But I think from your mother's bloodline, there's that power that's coming maybe from one generation to another. And your capacity to understand, you know, to be empathic is also a power. Your ability to put yourself in other people's shoes and to be nurturing, that's also a power. And your intuition. So in other words, emotional intelligence, if you want to put it like that. And your imagination. Because your imagination, that's where the good ideas are coming from. That's where the visions are coming from. That's where originality comes from. Yep. And also with the support and inspiration, I think you are someone who can easily inspire others. And you are maybe also someone who knows how to bring out the best in people. Like, you're the kind of person who, for instance, you would do well in human resources. Like, you can look at people and tell who would do best in what position. Like, what job would bring out their best attributes. And again, really leads into that idea that you would make a good entrepreneur, or at least a good manager, or someone who's kind of like in a position where you're like in overview of something, like an administrator, a manager, a leader of some sorts. Yeah, pretty much this is what I have for you, pile number 3. Very strong messages. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, click on the notifications bell if you want to see when I will post a new video. Also, feel free to comment in the comment section. I'm very curious to hear how this resonated, which parts didn't. Of course, you can comment whenever you want, as long as you keep it respectful. Also, you can suggest topics that you want me to cover in future readings. I will take them into account. And if you would like to support my channel further, you can do so by clicking on the not the notifications, but of course you can also do that. But if you would like to support my channel further financially, you can do so by becoming a member in exchange for a small monthly fee, and or making a donation through the, tipping icon under any of my videos. Anything would be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, if you are interested in a tarot reading, you can check the video description. I have left my email address there, so you can email me for a list of reading options with the respective prices and other details you might be interested in. And I've also left a link in the video description to reviews I have gotten for private readings before. You might want to check them out. It might help you decide if you want to get a reading from me or not. Aside from that, last but not least, I also have an astrology channel where I focus mainly on Vedic astrology, but also with some tropical insights. I have more than 20 years of experience of reading horoscopes right now, more than 10 in reading Vedic astrology, and I predominantly focus on Vedic nowadays because I found it to be the most accurate. But I also use a lot of insights and techniques from tropical astrology as well. And aside from that, I also use my knowledge of other astrological systems, such as the Chinese system, Batsa, or Ziwei Doshu. Also the Mayan astrology, also numerology a lot. So if you're curious about astrology, go ahead and check out my channel, maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next tarot reading. Bye!